Hey guys, it's Alyssa.
And it's Danny. And we're Christian Connections.
So today our video, as you can tell by the title, is Comparing Seasons.
Yeah, we just wanted to talk about the different seasons everyone has in life and how just because you're at one season doesn't mean everyone else hasn't been there and done those same things.
Yeah, so we want to start out by kind of sharing our personal stories. That way maybe you can get an idea of how it relates to your life. Okay.
You want me to go first? Okay. So, lately I've just been having kind of a harder time. There's just been a few things happening, like with family and school and stuff like that, and it's just been a little rough. And I was always like, Alyssa's having such a good time. Like, why can't I have a good time? And then I just realized, just because she's having a good time right now doesn't mean she hasn't had her share of rough times, or, you know, and maybe it's just like in his plan for me that I need to go through this, and I just come to the conclusion that just because of what I'm going through doesn't mean that I have a horrible life or anything. It's just something he sees that I need to go through, and yeah.
Okay, now that maybe you have an idea if it relates to like family or just like your job or school or like your health, anything, yeah, just like everybody has those things that it's like, oh, this is so rough right now. So you can kind of get that idea of what that would be in your life right now.
Yeah.
Maybe you're at a really high point, but everybody's gone through low points. You've had those. It's just kind of a cycle. So now we kind of want to go into how he is using that time.
Yeah.
And using those different seasons of life.
Yeah. Like, just thinking of that, like, some of the best lessons and what has made me me has come from those rough times. Like, during those rough times, I don't like it. I'm like, why do I have to go through this? But, like, looking back now, I'm like, oh, that was good because I learned such a valuable lesson, or lessons, you know, during those times. And when you're in the middle of that storm, it's hard to see, like, it's going to be worth it in the end. And sometimes that's really hard. But just kind of keep in mind that maybe there's a lesson you need to learn. Maybe you're there helping someone else, and that might not be great for you, but you're being that really great sunny point in someone else at that moment. Or, you know, just kind of try to take a step back and see where this might be helpful.
Yep. I know it's really popular right now. It's like, be you, but don't do these things that are like real life things. Yeah. Like, don't hide this, but don't show this. So we just want to just kind of say, like, just do you. Like, my phrase, I just go by, you do you. Do your own thing. And sometimes it is good to compare yourselves. It's like, oh, maybe I'm being kind of too, I don't know, loud or annoying right now. Like, everybody else is so quiet. It's like
at a library or something.
Yeah,
like a setting like that, it's
compare
good.
Yourself.
Yeah, but also at the same time, just because everyone else is doing something and that's not your thing, don't go and do it, you know? I think that's hard, especially when you, like, as we're going into college and stuff, that's hard. You know, there's always the stereotypical, like, parties and stuff like that, and if that's not your thing, don't go just because everyone else is going. Like, do you. Like, if your version of a great night is watching a movie on the couch and eating popcorn, do that. Like, don't go out just because that's what's expected of you.
Yeah, so kind of tying that back into the seasons thing, I mean, obviously making those decisions is going to overall, like, change that, how your season is going, but, like, what you see about other people's lives is only a small bit of that real picture. You might see those nights where they're, like, out having fun and seeing all these posts on Instagram or Twitter, wherever, and being like, oh my gosh, they always have so much fun. Like, every night they post something. But then maybe, like, I don't know, you don't know what's going on in their family at that time.
Yeah.
One time that I can really remember something in this, like, situation, I was at, like, a camp, and I saw this girl, and I was like, wow, she seems to have it, like, all together. Like, she knows what she's doing, man. And then the last night we had, like, a reflections time, and she kind of shared some of her story, and like she's experienced a lot of like loss of like family members and moving around and like divorce and all that kind of stuff, and it's like, wow, like realizing that some of those really hard moments are really what turns you into that person who has that strength.
Yeah.
So don't compare yourself. It's all going to be okay in the end. He's using these times to either make you learn something or see him in a different way.
Yeah. Like, you know, there's been times where it's like I'm going through this hard time and I really feel like it was him just trying to get me closer back to him. And, you know, so those rough points in life, they can be used so many different ways. It's just kind of try to make sure you're using them in the best way possible.
Okay, so now we're just going to share a little verse that we found. I'll let you read it.
Okay. It is John 3:29, and it says, He who has the bride is the bridegroom. The friend of the bridegroom who stands and hears him rejoices greatly at the bridegroom's voice. For this reason my joy has been fulfilled. He must increase, but I must decrease.
Okay, so kind of giving some background as to what part this is. It's John the Baptist talking to somebody there, seeing that how he's like baptizing people while Jesus is there, and it's like, what? So that's like the context of it. But really, like, to really look at the verse, how it says, he who has the bride is the bridegroom, and then like rejoicing because he has like a bride, you know. A lot of people are like, especially in relationships, it can be like, oh my gosh, she has a boyfriend and they're so happy together and that kind of stuff, and you're like, I just wish that I could have that. Really, one thing to really change your point of view and your mindset is to realize, like, that's one of their like happy moments. There's going to be a lot of other things in their lives that aren't so good, and they're just really enjoying the good parts of it, and that you should be happy for them for having that joy. Like, why are you jealous? Like, I know you want it, but you should be happy that they're able to have that joy.
Yeah. And like Alyssa said, I think the biggest thing is people, I mean, they, on Instagram, for example, you know, they post all these cute things with their boyfriend or girlfriend and, you know, stuff like that, but they don't post for the behind-the-scenes things. You don't know, like, I mean, not saying that every relationship is horrible behind the scenes, but every relationship has struggles, and they have things they need to work on together as a couple, and, just like Alyssa was saying, be happy for them when they're having their great moments, but don't be jealous of them, you know. Your time's coming, or God has a plan for you. Don't rush things, you know.
So to kind of leave you with something, another phrase that I go by is, love is greater than fear. So be really happy for them. Rejoice that they're happy. Like, show your love for them rather than that fear of like seeing what you don't have.
Yeah.
That'll just overall bring you more joy rather than like worrying about like, oh, I don't have this. Focus on the positive things. Focus on how they're happy, and that'll just make you happy.
Yeah, that really will. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
This is all for our first video back.
Yay!
See you guys.
See ya.